All right, hey guys, this is Ming here from agentsofspeech.com. Let's talk about tiptoeing. Okay, so recently I've been doing some consultations over the internet, and basically, parents are telling me that they're really scared of tiptoeing, and the reason is because if you search online, you will see red flags of autism. Well, what are they? Tiptoeing, eye cornering, stimming, hand flapping, not responding to name, no eye contact, all these things. So we talked about a lot about like eye contact, responding to name, all those. If you don't, if you want to learn about those, just search within our channel or like a Facebook page or whatever, with those keywords like eye contact, sensory problem, so on. So tiptoeing, it is something that is related to autism, and the reason is because of sensory problems. And sensory problems is something that I, as a speech therapist, cannot really provide much insight into. But what I can tell you is that, and this is what a lot of parents would want to hear, is that tiptoeing does not equal to autism automatically, right? Uh, there are loads of different symptoms. There are loads of different things that point towards autism, right? It's not a single point that points to autism. If you watch what is the biggest red flag of autism in one of our videos, right? I point out I point out that the biggest red flag that leads to autism is the lack of socializing, right? Is that you see that they don't understand the reason behind socializing, right? They don't want to, they don't have the need to, and they don't feel like it. They don't like it, right? So tiptoeing is part of it, and it's because autistic people, they have a different sensory profile than us, right? So you will see hypersensitivity in the mouth. That's more to do with my profession. You see hypersensitivity in terms of like their whole body when you touch them. There was a kid that I used to work with. Whenever I stopped him from running away, he would cry, and it wasn't because I was stopping him; it was because the excess of physical contact. All right, so that's something you have to be careful about. And a lot of parents will say, "Well, how about this? If they can't do it, I'll do it until they allow me." And as a cat dad, as a parent of a cat, I can tell you that if a cat doesn't like you being like you holding him or her, then at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one who gets scratched. So why are you doing it in the first place? I always ask that to myself, but I just like holding my cats. So it might be the same case with you and your kid. Oh, I like hugging my child. Well, the thing about like sensory and preferences, and also what we call tactile defensiveness, it comes from the fact that the person has been too forward with advances. So therefore, when people have a bad experience with things, they tend to shy away when it happens, right? They tend to go like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore, right? So it's the same. It's the same. So you don't want to go into it and try to make them be accustomed to those sensory problems, right? I've talked about like cutting hair, talked about wearing a face mask. All these are the same. All right. How about tiptoeing? Tiptoeing by itself, by nature, is quite. If I see children who tiptoe 10% of the time, it's not too much of a big deal. It's not like, oh man, I gotta check out this kid and he needs to go get an autism diagnosis. That's not what I see, at the very least. If I see like a kid who's always tiptoeing, that yeah, I don't think it's autism. I know that he needs to go to, or she needs to go to an OT and work on those things, right? And work on those. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. And work on um, their sensory, right? Work on their vestibular, whatever. I might be using the wrong term. I'm not an occupational therapist. So at the end of the day, you need to find some profession who knows, right? I was talking to a mother, like long, long time ago, a mother who was an OT. Her son was on the spectrum, and I asked her, "Hey, how do you teach? Um, how do you get rid of tiptoeing?" And then the reason I was asking, because I've seen is that a lot of I've seen a client who was tiptoeing so much that it damaged their muscle structure. And we're talking about like 24/7 they're tiptoeing, and that's why the bone and the muscle got really tense and the bone structure changed, and structurally speaking, they will never walk the same anymore, right? And they will always walk like that, or like it really affects that child's mobility, right? So we're not taught. This is an extreme case, and she said, um, you got to diagnose the underlying problem. So I cannot tell you right now how to deal with it because um, I'm not that kind of therapist, right? That's the first thing. All right. Second of all, is um, after finding the root problem, you have to keep on you need to keep on going at it. So one of the adult students that I have, she needs to use like a heavy backpack to push herself down in order to be on the ground. But at the same time, that's not really dealing with the situation, right? That's just putting a band-aid on, putting a band-aid on the wound. It doesn't solve anything. So maybe it's because of it might be because of their vestibular needs, right? It might be because of their other sensory needs, or because they have some muscles that are weak. I have no idea at this point. But what this video is trying. What I'm trying to tell you in this video is that if a child is tiptoeing, it doesn't mean that they're on the spectrum. It means that they have a sensory need. Whether like that's autism related or not is not the question, because we want to solve it. If it's something that is affecting a child's life, right? And they're always bouncing and stuff, and it's gonna hurt their legs in the long run. What you should be worried about is not whether or not they're on the spectrum, is why are they tiptoeing? What's the sensory motor reason behind this phenomenon? And you have to go ahead and solve it, because if you don't solve it, what's going to happen is that it's going to become really hard to solve in the long run. And I see a lot of parents just they cannot deal with the child rejecting um, their teaching, their advances to stop certain behaviors, right? So at the end of the day, I think I've covered the subject today about whether like tiptoeing is autism or not. It is not, right? To be very frank with you, it's not. So although I know if I say it's like don't worry, that's not going to help, right? Because that's what mothers do. They think about their child all the time, right? And to say that I understand is understatement, because I do not. Um, Emotionally speaking, it's super hard, right? Even the smallest symptoms will make you scared. So what I want you to understand, and if you follow me for some time, you know that I'm very practical and I talk about like what to do in situations. So in this situation, you really need to see an occupational therapist, right? And maybe you need help with a physiotherapist as well. And uh, if you ask me, I cannot be of much service other than giving you some behavioral tactics to help ease the symptoms. But to find out exactly what the reason is, you need a diagnosis. And like you might say, "Man, dude, you always say that diagnosis doesn't matter." Well, I'm talking about whether what you need to do in terms of to get them to a better language level. To get them to a better language level is almost always the same stuff. But if we're talking about like physiological stuff, you really have to know exactly why. All right. So hopefully this live has been useful for you. It's just a really short chat that I want to do, just to respond to some questions I got over on private consultations. And I see some of you guys are asking in the PMs and DMs about like, oh, I want a consultation and stuff. First of all, yes, it's paid. Second of all, I might not be seeing these messages. Usually our staff will go through it and let me know. The best way is actually just to email me, right? If you go to ming@agentsofspeech.com, email me your questions. If it's too long, I really cannot, because I'm getting far too many emails. Thanks to, I mean, I'm very grateful for that. I mean, I'm very happy that I'm getting emails, but at the same time, it's just really hard to manage nowadays. So, if you do want a consultation, it will be paid, right? Um, but at the same time, if you have any questions that you don't mind asking, you can put it in these live videos. I do it every week. You just have to put on your notifications, right? And then, when I pop up, then you ask. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this week's video. And um, upcoming, our membership will be open very soon, and I want you guys to be um, to look forward to it. Basically, what it is that when you don't know what to do at home, you can ask in a private forum outside of Facebook, outside of wherever. It's our own our own place. It's a private app. And the other thing is you can send me videos to review over on Zoom together, and you get to hear my feedback live. And if you can't make it, there are recordings. You can see parents, moms especially, 90%, 99.9% are female. You will see them working their butts off for children all around the world. You have mothers from Estonia. There's some from Ireland. There are a few from Philippines. We have a bunch from Singapore. It's just all over. I have some from Dubai even. Right? It's crazy, and I'm really happy that I'm able to help parents all over the globe, and it's making me think about how to make this a better product for you, right? So, we got to upgrade about that, and certainly that'd be good. But all the parents who join that stick to it, who are committed. There's one in the UK that I'll make a video about very soon. Is a success story. There are a few, but um, first of all, moms are very private and they don't really want to talk about it. That's one. Second of all, to find a mom who is committed enough to show that the techniques do work, it's just a matter of time and effort and repetition, is hard. So if you are committed and you want to be like one of those success stories that I show on the on YouTube or Facebook, I mean, you don't like. I know you don't want to share, but sometimes parents are so happy about the progress that they want other moms to see that it's possible, right? So if that's something you really want, then you can check your emails very soon. Okay, if you're not on my email list and you want to get on the membership waiting list, you can go to agentsofspeech.com. Let me see, agents slash membership, right? Let me just write it, membership. Oh man, I can't even type today. Right, I'm just gonna post it as a comment, right? And then press join now. You can't join yet. You can be put on the waiting list, and when we're open, you can come in, right? So that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week when probably then the membership will be open. There has been a lot of delay because of a lot of things going on right now in my life, so I'll spare you the details, but I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, see ya.